Over the past few months, Blueface has faced growing backlash for repeatedly making fun of his own son on social media while also being criticized for staying out of the child's life.
The part that really messed with me is that Blueface doesn't seem active in the child's life because of his disability.
Now he's posted a photo calling the boy "my son," only to delete it moments later. That single post has reignited the controversy and the backlash has exploded. Here's what happened. The stream clip that restarted everything. On July 23, 2026, Academics TV shared a clip from one of Blueface's kick streams. In it, he calls out Chrisann Rock for being in Los Angeles while their son is somewhere else.
Co-parent with Junior. The Junior ain't even out here. What the f are you talking about?
He keeps going, and the second half of the clip is the part that traveled.
In California without your son, f***ing your alleged baby dad, acting like you not a part of the circus.
Blueface referred to the boy as Chrisann's special needs son while accusing her of being in LA chasing the circus. Those two words immediately sparked backlash. Since March, Blueface had insisted the child wasn't biologically his, yet here he was publicly labeling the boy while still refusing to claim him. But this wasn't where the controversy began. Just 3 days earlier, on July 20, Blueface and Chrisann crossed paths at a boat party in Los Angeles. She confronted him over publicly denying their son, but later footage showed the two together and on good terms. Soon after, Blueface went on stream and admitted he had cheated on his pregnant girlfriend Neve with Chrisann. The following day, July 21, police showed up at his Canyon Country home while he was live on Kick. Someone had called in a false emergency report. He and his cameraman were detained on camera with their hands up while the house was searched. Nothing was found. It was a prank. Reports noted that CPS responded alongside the police. So inside 8 days, a confrontation at a boat party, a swatting, a cheating admission, and a stream where he described the child as special needs while denying paternity. Then came July 28. That day, a photo appeared on Blueface's Instagram story. It showed Chrisann holding the child. The caption on it was 2 words, "my son." It was up briefly, then it was gone. Say Cheese and other accounts had already screenshotted it and posted it. Within hours, Blueface was denying he had put it there at all, telling people, "Y'all know damn well I ain't post none of that." For many people, this wasn't just about paternity anymore. Coming just days after he referred to the boy as special needs on stream, the deleted post felt like another example of him using the child to fuel controversy. That's why the backlash spread so quickly. One breakdown of the situation opened by laying out exactly that history.
Got Chrisann Rock basically going back and forth with Blueface in regards to Chrisann Jr. paternity.
The same video pulled up Blueface's own response to being asked about it on stream, which was short.
I said it on Twitter. What the fuck else you want me to say?
To understand why 2 words on a stream set off that much noise, you have to go back to the beginning, because the child at the center of this has been a public topic since the day he was born. How a toddler became a storyline. Chrisann Jesus Malone Jr. was born on September 3, 2023, and he was born on Instagram Live. That single detail tells you almost everything about the environment this child arrived into. There was no privacy at the starting line. The delivery itself was content, broadcast to a scrolling audience that had spent the previous 2 years treating his parents' relationship as a serialized reality show. Blueface was not there. He was out that night with Jayden Alexis, the mother of 2 of his other children. And the story of how he got to that point is one he has told himself in detail on camera. Sat down with Vlad TV. He was asked whether he had tried to stop the pregnancy from happening at all.
Did you try to convince her to get an abortion?
Oh yeah, I tried.
He explained his reasoning, and the reasoning had nothing to do with the child and everything to do with the brand.
You think it's a good idea, you wanna have a baby with me, and you think it'll put you in position, but you know when you have this baby, right, your career is over.
Before the boy existed, he was already being weighed as a career liability, a distraction that would pull attention off his mother and onto himself. That framing never really left. It just changed costume. The weeks after the birth set the template for everything that followed. Blueface began publicly questioning whether the child was his, floating the idea that a secret DNA test had come back negative. Then came the hernia. The infant had a hernia that affected his early mobility, and rather than handle it privately, Blueface took the child's medical situation to social media in crude, explicit terms, describing and sharing imagery of a newborn's body, blaming Chrisann's smoking and drinking during the pregnancy, and framing the whole thing as an insult aimed at her. The reaction was immediate and it was ugly. Calls for CPS. Accusations that he was farming a newborn for engagement. The words deadbeat and terrible father attached themselves to him and never fully came off. Chrisann was not spared either. Around September 21, 2023, a video surfaced of her shopping at Walmart with the roughly 3 3-week-old baby strapped to her chest in a front-facing carrier. The infant's head and upper body were hanging back, unsupported, while she managed a dog on a leash and 2 loaded shopping carts. The clip detonated. Newborns cannot hold their own heads up. Strangers watched a 2-week-old bend backward in a carrier and started demanding intervention. Blueface's mother, Carlissa Saffold, went in hard, describing the baby as folded over and doing a backbend in the middle of a grocery store. Blueface himself posted from a distance, saying he could not micromanage the two of them, then softened it slightly by noting that Crisanne's mental state affected their son. Crisanne answered it directly on her story the next day. She said the woman filming could have helped instead of recording, described being a new mother with a dog, 2 carts and a phone she was using to call a baby father who was not showing up, admitted she was still learning, and said she would tighten up. That is the environment. 2 young parents, both under a camera, both making mistakes in public, both being judged in real time by millions of people who had no relationship with the child other than as a recurring character. And underneath it, quietly, something else was building. Videos of the boy kept surfacing. Fans started counting months. He was not crawling on schedule. He was not walking. He was not talking. His head control looked off. By the time he was approaching 2, the comment sections had already reached a verdict that no doctor had ever handed down. This child is disabled. Nobody had confirmed it. Both parents would eventually deny it. But the label was out in the world, attached to a toddler, and every time either parent opened their mouth about him, that label was waiting. Which brings us to the interview where Blueface was asked about it head-on and gave an answer that made everything worse. There is no disability. In late November 2025, fresh out of prison after roughly 2 years inside, Blueface sat down with Vlad TV. The conversation moved through the abortion talk, the pregnancy, the smoking, and then landed on the question everyone had been circling for 2 years. Vlad put it plainly. Looking at the pictures and the videos, it seems like something is going on. Is that true?
You know, when you look at the pictures and the videos, it somewhat appears that there's some disability going on. Is that true?
The answer he gave took a question about a toddler's development and turned it into an attack on the toddler's mother.
You know what? There is no disability. The only disability is her.
That line, "the only disability is her," is the sentence that lives on in every compilation, every reaction video, every quote tweet about this family. It is a denial and a weapon in the same breath. He is defending his son's development while using the phrasing as a blade against Crisanne in front of a camera for an audience. He then laid out his actual theory, which was that milestones are built, not given, and that the reason the boy was behind was that nobody had put in the hours.
You have a baby, and you leave him in the stroller all day, or you just leave him, you're not as intuitive and tender.
He was blunt about where that ends up.
Any child's gonna be behind.
On the boy himself, he was, in his own way, defensive of him. He described a child who was physically capable and simply not speaking yet.
If you have a baby, and you leave him in the stroller all day, or you just leave him, you're not as intuitive and tender.
Then came the admission that fed the speculation rather than killing it.
He talks?
He doesn't talk, he makes noises and stuff.
He shut down the fetal alcohol syndrome theories that had been circulating and pointed back to the hernia as the only physical explanation he would entertain for the early delays.
Which obviously messed with his mobility early on.
Look at what actually happened in that exchange. A national platform asked a father whether his 2-year-old had a disability, and instead of saying that it was private, or that they were getting him evaluated, or that he would not discuss a toddler's medical business on a podcast, he gave a full public assessment. He confirmed the boy was nonverbal. He described his physical abilities. He named a corrected surgical condition, and he assigned blame for the whole picture to the child's mother, who was not in the room to answer. Complex covered it as Blueface denying his son had a disability, and the coverage traveled fast. So did the criticism, because what people heard was not a father protecting his son from a label. It was a father broadcasting his son's status while positioning himself as the parent who would have fixed it, despite being visibly absent from the child's day-to-day life for most of the boy's existence, a stretch of which he had spent incarcerated. And here's the part that makes the next chapter so difficult to follow. In that same sit-down, Blueface was asked point-blank whether the boy was his. He said a DNA test had been done during the pregnancy and had come back naming him as the father. Then this.
So you're 100% sure that that is your son?
Until I see something that says no, I'm not gonna.
November 2025, on the record, 100% until proven otherwise. Hold on to that, because within 4 months, he would be telling the world the opposite. But before that reversal, there was one more moment, one that Crisanne would later describe as the day the mockery of her child became a joke told for a live studio audience. The punchline and the mother's answer. In mid-November 2025, days after walking out of prison, Blueface was filming his dating show, 20v1. The format is simple and mean by design. 20 women, 1 man, a series of public rejections. He got to one contestant and, instead of a normal dismissal, reached for a comparison. He told her he was swiping left because she kind of looked like his son. Then, laughing, he added that they would know what he was talking about, one line. But the clip detonated across Instagram around November 16 and 17, and everybody understood the implication. He was leaning on the exact online speculation about the boy's face and development that had been circulating for 2 years, and using it as a laugh line on his own show. Krizayan's response was a rant, recorded and posted, and it is one of the rawest things either of them has put online. She ran the receipt list. First, the boy looked like Charles Barkley. Then the boy was not his son at all, and now a dating show comparing a stranger's face to their child. Then she said the line this entire story is named after. She said the whole world was clowning her kid, and asked who people thought broke the ice on that. Her answer? Him, his father, and he was still at it. She went further than most people expected, talking about visiting his grave one day, saying she could not wait to see the tombstone. She called him weak and weird. She insisted on the boy's full name, Krizayan Jesus, not just Junior, and accused him of reigniting the ridicule of a toddler for entertainment while she was trying to stay out of the chaos entirely. No apology ever came. Blueface never publicly addressed that specific moment again. What Krizayan did instead was start answering the disability question directly. In March 2026, on episode 269 of the Danza Project, around the 19-minute mark, she pulled out her phone and read text messages from Ryan Garcia, who had reached out after NLE Choppa made comments about her son. Garcia offered help, then said something that stopped her cold.
The part that really messed with me is that Blueface doesn't seem active in the child's life because of his disability.
She read out her own reply on the podcast, and it is the clearest public statement she has ever made on the subject.
My son does not have a disability. He is developing at his own pace and hitting his milestones in his own timing.
Then she pushed back on the assumption itself.
Every child is different, and I'm confident in his growth. If I said it, he had a disability, then he... But it's like,
don't tell me.
I ain't say none of that. I ain't say none of that. Watch your mouth.
Asked to expand, she explained that she would not accept the label from anyone, including doctors, because she was guarding something she believed she had been told directly.
So it's really like me, protecting a revelation that I heard from the Lord over my son.
That answer split the internet. Supporters called it a mother refusing to let strangers stamp a permanent label on a 2-year-old. Critics called it denial dressed in scripture. But the same episode complicated that reading because when she described her daily routine, she was not describing denial at all.
Because he started moving around like he wanna walk. So we do exercises and things that we learned from the physical therapist.
There it is without argument. He is not walking. There is a physical therapist. There are exercises being done at 4 in the morning before she drives 90 minutes to a Baltimore boxing gym. Whatever she rejects about the word disability, she was not pretending the delays did not exist. She also described what she was fielding from the other direction, texting NLE Choppa that speaking negatively over a child is serious.
If there's an issue with Blue, bring it to him, but please remove my child from your speech.
And when the host raised Blueface going online to talk about the boy, she did not flinch.
I felt like I'm Krishan's mother. I'm his protector. I'm the person that's gonna speak up for him.
She also let slip the accusation that reframes everything, that the child's father had been putting the boy in songs.
But it's like, you over here making rap songs calling him a dumb baby, and then you talking about his hair. So now you cyberbullying our kid. He can't even defend himself.
Cyberbullying from a father about a 2-year-old who cannot speak. That is the accusation sitting underneath this entire title. And by March 2026, it had already escalated into something bigger than name-calling. The denial, the reunion, and what the record actually shows. In March 2026, Blueface went on X and detonated the last thing holding this together. He posted that Junior was not his biological son, sent condolences to the late Caron, Ronnie Doe Can, as the boy's real father, and said he could no longer continue what he called the plot. The plot, 2.5 years of birthdays, streams, interviews, and a nationally broadcast 100% sure that's my son, reclassified as a storyline. Krizayan did not go to war on camera. She posted calm, structured, receipt-driven statements that a commentary channel later walked through line by line.
She said, "Let me clear something up. No one is denying anyone access out of spite. As a mother, my responsibility is to protect my child. Less than a week ago, my son was publicly disrespected from Blue. All right, and I will never normalize that."
She spelled out exactly what she meant by disrespected.
You called him or whatever, both of us, dumb on Playboy Max stream, insinuating our kid is dumb.
And she drew the line that, according to her, triggered the entire denial.
When you repeatedly disrespected our son publicly for clout. Because of that, I don't trust you around him right now.
The channel's read on it was that the disowning was never really about DNA. It was leverage. He had allegedly warned her before that if she kept putting the boy on stream, he would disown him.
He told her in the past, he said, if you ever put our son on stream or whatever, again, he said he will disown him.
A creator quoted in the same breakdown put the commercial logic on the table without dressing it up.
Blueface done talked about every single child he got, even the unborn one, and he has not gotten the reaction that he's looking for. I already know it's monetary. We already know there is no Blueface without Krishan.
And the verdict that channel landed on was aimed at both of them.
Y'all over here treating the kid like it's content. Like, that's lame.
By that point, the conversation had grown far beyond one stream or one Instagram post. For many people, this had become a pattern that had been playing out for more than 2 years. It is a father who posted about a newborn's hernia in explicit terms weeks after the birth he skipped, who used the boy as a rejection punchline on his own dating show, who told a national interviewer that his son's only disability was the boy's mother, then confirmed on camera that the child was nonverbal, who denied paternity in March, called the previous years a plot, then in July got on a kick stream and labeled the same child a special needs son to score a point about where the boy's mother was standing, who posted "my son" on July 28, deleted it, and denied ever posting it. And it is a mother who publicly rejected the disability label while doing physical therapy exercises with her son at 4 in the morning, shielding him from a word while the debate about him kept running on the platform she posts to. Authorities had been pulled into the situation too. In September 2025, MGM Grand staff called police and CPS for a welfare check after children were seen on a live stream from the room. Officers responded, the situation was resolved on the spot, and no one was removed. While rumors continued to spread online, no credible outlet confirmed the more extreme claims. By July 2026, people weren't reacting to one moment anymore. They were reacting to a pattern that had been building for more than 2 years. A child whose medical condition, paternity, and personal life had repeatedly become part of public arguments, live streams, interviews, deleted posts, and social media drama. To many people, that was the real issue. It wasn't one comment or one post. It was that the same child kept being pulled back into the spotlight over and over again. The child at the center of it turns 3 in September. He does not talk yet. He is in physical therapy, and he has spent every month of his life as a recurring segment in 2 adults' content cycle, claimed, unclaimed, diagnosed by strangers, defended in scripture, denied on Twitter, and reclaimed for 2 words before the story expired. That is the actual story, not one live, a machine. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.